So let's have a quick chat about the Pedal Power 3 Plus from Voodoo Lab. It's a great power supply for guitar or bass or what have you. So let's have a bit of a chat about it. Okay, so the more pedals you get, obviously you need some sort of a power source. Now you can run batteries for a lot of things, but that's kind of a pain. It's expensive as well, you know, depending if how many pedals you've got, how often you're using them and all those sorts of things. Then you got to worry about unplugging them so they're not drawing current when they're not in use. So the simple solution really is, after you get past 1 or 2 pedals, is to grab a power supply. Lots on the market do not get the daisy chain one spot sort of things. They're not isolated. They're going to give you a lot of noise. So there's the Voodoo Lab series, there's the Strymon Zoomer, there's the Chocs, there's all sorts of ones. I got this one today. Going to talk about why. All right, let's talk about inputs. It's really important to, when you're getting a power supply, you need to think, how many pedals do I have today, but how many am I going to have tomorrow? Now, this of course depends on your application. For me, I'm running a studio board. I don't have a need, at least right now, to go out and play live or go out and sort of rehearse. So I kind of want something with all my pedals on it, so I need enough. Okay, so this one has 12 isolated outputs. What does that mean? Isolated? Well, it means each one is completely separate, is isolated, segregated. So you're not going to have the issues of noise that you might do if you were daisy chaining. Now, again, this is nothing new, and most of the decent quality power supplies will have that, but it's got 12. So that's a good amount. You want to have expansion in mind. You might only have 5 pedals now, but what are you going to have in 6 months, 12 months? So 12 is kind of, I suppose, having a lot. For me, my pedal board, it's a studio sort of board, so pretty much everything I have is going to be on there. I'm not planning to go out and take it live, so I have the 12. In fact, I've got the expansion as well, so you can expand this up to 28 if you get the expansion slots. We'll talk about that a bit later. Okay, so the first 10 slots, 9 volts up to 500 milliamps. Now, what does that mean? Well, most pedals have 9 volts. Now, you do need to obviously check your instructions for this. Some can run 9, 12, 18, but at least you've got 9. It's pretty much the standard. 500 milliamps. Now, that's how much current each pedal is going to draw, how much it needs to draw. Now, again, perspective, Boss pedals, most of them are around the 10 to 30 milliamp is what they're going to draw. So it's really, you've got so much overhead here, it's not funny. Some of the other ones getting into sort of next common will draw up to about 50 milliamps. But any of the analog pedals that's all you'll need, so you'll be fine. Now, why go to 500 milliamps? Well, that's when you get into the digital realm. Some of the delays, the choruses, or particularly the multi-effects, they're going to draw a lot more current, and you're going to need that 500 milliamps. So you have 10 on here that can draw 500 at 9 volts. Okay, so what about the remaining 2? We spoke about 10 and it has 12 outputs. Well, that means you can run 2 pedals at 500 milliamps at 12 volts if you have something that requires a higher voltage, or you can run 2 pedals at 9 volts at 200 milliamps. So if all your pedals are 9 volts, you've got 2 at 200 milliamps and 10 at 500. More than enough that you're really going to need. You have 2 at 12 volts if that's what you need, and you can get a voltage doubler to run at 18 volts if you want it will. So 2 of the voltage will become sort of 1. Okay, the other great thing about the Voodoo Lab system is you can run expansions. This is the X4, so there are 4 outputs on this. You can get the X8 as well. Now, the cool thing about the Pedal Power 3 Plus is it draws the power from here. You don't need separate power for the expansion slot. You can just run a regular cable across and into here, and there are 2 of them. So as I said, this comes with 12 outputs. You can run 28 altogether. 2 expansion slots. You can get the X8 at 16 plus this 28. That's a huge amount if you need. So it's a good system. All right, another cool thing is the IEC power. Now, it's rated at 100 to 240 volts in terms of AC. So if you're going international, you're touring, you're traveling, whatever it is, you don't need to worry. All you need to do is use a different IEC cable, one for example, Europe or Australia or the US. This is the same male connector here, and the other side that'll go into outlet. You just change accordingly, or use adapter, of course. Pretty nice. Okay, another reason it is lightweight. This is the Pedal Power 2 Plus. Now, it only has 8 outputs. This has 4. And this is, I'm going to say it's double the weight. I mean, unscientific, but this is a lot heavier, or rather, this one is a lot lighter. Okay, in terms of mounting options, often with something like this sort of size, you're going to want it underneath your board. You're going to want an angled board. So this has little feet on it, which are kind of in the way of any, dual lock or Velcro. So depending on how you might want to do it, you've got options. You can take those off if you want and put Velcro on. You can use some sort of a zip tie or something else. The screws at the back, you can get brackets, take the screws out and then put the bracket on and go through. So there's a couple of options there as well. Again, it's nice and light, so that is good for pedalboard weight. All right, that's it for the Voodoo Lab. It is nice and quiet. I could do a sound test, but believe me, it is quiet. They're isolated. It is one of the best on the market. Check one out. See you next time.